I woke up in a nursing home I'd never seen before. My name is Robert Hayes. I'm 69 years old. And 3 days ago, I thought I had a loving family. I had helped my son Brandon buy his dream house. I had paid my granddaughter Lily's college tuition. I had signed every paper he slid across the table because I trusted him. What I didn't know, while I was busy loving them unconditionally, they were busy planning to erase me. But what they didn't know was that before I became dad who needs help, I was a structural engineer who spent 40 years designing things that don't collapse under pressure. I always have a backup plan. If you're listening to this, do me one favor. Hit subscribe and tell me where you're watching from, because this is the story of how my own son tried to lock me away and steal my entire life, and how I turned the whole thing back on him. Before everything went sideways, I honestly thought we were a normal, happy family. Ty, Emily, passed away 3 years ago. Breast cancer. 3 surgeries, endless chemo, hospital beds that all started to look the same. I held her hand in room 412 at St. Anne's Hospital when the machines went flat. 42 years of marriage gone in a single beep. In those days, it was my son Brandon and his wife Kelly who kept me going. They brought Lily over on Sundays. We'd grill in the backyard. I'd tell old stories, and Lily would roll her eyes in that teenage way, but still smile. "Dad, we're family," Brandon always said. "We're going to take care of you." At the time, I believed him. The money I thought was love. It started small. One night after dinner, Brandon lingered at the table while Kelly washed dishes. "Dad," he said, "can I talk to you about something kind of big?" I pushed my plate away. "Always. What's going on?" He pulled up photos on his phone. A 2-story house with a porch, big yard, swing set in the back. "This is it," he said. "It's a place. Great school district for Lily. Great neighborhood. It's perfect. We're short on the down payment." "How short?" I asked. He hesitated. $275,000. I almost laughed. "That's not short, Brandon. That's a cliff." "Dad, I know, but I remember what you told me. You said you wanted to do something big in Emily's memory. Something that would help family." That got me, because I did say that. T said I wanted Emily's death to mean something other than hospital bills and grief. "Look," he added quickly, "we'll pay it back. We'll make monthly payments. This isn't charity. We'll treat it like a loan." Kelly sat down next to him and took my hand. "Robert, this would change Lily's life," she said. "Safe neighborhood, better schools. You'd be helping 3 generations." They made it sound less like a loan, more like a legacy. I checked my accounts. Between my retirement savings, Emily's insurance, and my nest egg, I had the money. My financial advisor had called it my freedom fund. I started to think of it as my family's future. A week later, I wrote the check, $275,000. My life savings gone in one signature. "Dad, you have no idea what this means to us," Brandon said, hugging me. "Family doesn't need contracts," I told him. "We trust each other." God, if I could go back and slap that version of me, more giving, less asking. The housewarming was like a commercial. Neighbors, barbecue, music playing, kids running around. Brandon introduced me as the man who made this all possible. I felt proud. Honestly, I cried in the car on the way home. Then came Lily's senior year. "Grandpa," she said one afternoon, sitting at my kitchen table, "college is crazy expensive. Mom and Dad say we probably can't afford a good one." Brandon chimed in. She's got the grades. She just needs the opportunity. We pulled up tuition numbers. 20, 30, 50,000 a year. It made my head spin, but all I could see was Emily's face saying, if we ever have grandkids, I want them to go further than we did. So I did what I always do. I pulled out my checkbook. Tell you what, I said. I'll cover Lily's tuition for the first 3 years. You focus on her future. I'll handle the bills. Lily jumped up and hugged me. You're the best, Grandpa. By the time that conversation was over, I'd committed to another $90,000 over the next few years. I never once asked for a signed repayment plan, not even an email, just trust. Looking back, the real trap didn't start with money. It started with, we're worried about you. One Sunday, Kelly poured me another glass of wine and said, Robert, you know we love you, right? Uh-oh, I said, joking. That's never a good opening. She smiled. I work at the hospital, see this stuff all the time. Older people have emergencies, and their kids can't help because of legal red tape. Brandon took out a folder like he'd been waiting for that cue. Dad, this is just a simple power of attorney, he said. If something happens, God forbid, we can handle your bills, sign hospital forms, that kind of thing. This is just in case. I picked up the document, 12 pages. Dense, legal language. I don't know, Brandon. Come on, Dad, he cut in. We're not trying to control you. It's temporary. It expires in like a year. How long exactly? I asked. He pointed at a line I honestly didn't fully understand. 370 days, he said. After that, it's kaput unless you renew it. 370 days. Just over a year seemed harmless enough. A safety net, I signed. That signature should have had a skull and crossbones on it. Slow motion prison at first, nothing changed. Or maybe it did, and I didn't want to see it. A few weeks later, my ATM card stopped working. Must be the chip, Brandon said. Here, Dad, let me reorder one for you. In the meantime, we'll cover anything you need. Then my credit card got compromised. Scammers are everywhere, Kelly said. We'll just use our card for your groceries. No big deal. Little things that felt like favors started to feel like control. My phone started acting weird, too. Contacts gone, old friends' numbers disconnected, voicemails I was sure I never erased. Dad, you gave me your phone to clean it up, remember? Brandon told me, most of those people don't even call you anymore. I didn't remember that. I also didn't remember asking him to decide who I stay in touch with. Neighbors stopped coming by. Even my friend, Mr. Coleman, next door, suddenly kept his distance. People have busy lives, Kelly said when I mentioned it. One night, I overheard Brandon on the phone. Yeah, he's been having episodes, memory loss. Times he says inappropriate things. It's better if folks keep their distance. Episodes, memory loss. They weren't describing me, they were building a story. The last night in my own bed felt off. Kelly brought me tea, said it would help me sleep. I remember the mug. I remember the weird taste. I remember the TV remote slipping out of my hand. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a bed that wasn't mine. Ceiling tiles, blinking red lights, a faint beeping sound. I tried to sit up. My arms felt like they were underwater. A nurse in a floral scrub top walked in. Good morning, Mr. Hayes. You're at Cedar Ridge Care Center. How are you feeling? Where? What? Why am I here? You had an episode, she said calmly. Your family brought you here for your safety. My safety. She handed me a paper cup with pills in it. Time for your meds. I don't take any meds, I muttered. The look she gave me said, you do now. Later that day, they brought me a phone. You can call your son, the nurse said. It's your medical contact. I dialed. Brandon answered on the second ring. Hey Dad, you okay? The staff said you sounded confused. Confused? Snapped. I woke up in a place I've never seen before. Why am I here? Dad, we talked about this, he said, voice switching into that fake, patient tone. You've been having episodes. You left the stove on twice last week. You forgot where you were at the grocery store. You asked the same question 5 times in a row. None of that ever happened. I'm an engineer. I check everything twice. I want to go home, I said. This is home now, Dad, he replied. We made arrangements, like I was a couch that needed moving. What arrangements? Dr. Walsh evaluated you. He said, it's not safe for you to live alone anymore. We sold your condo. The money's paying for your care there. My grip tightened on the phone. You what? We sold it, Dad. You don't need that big place. Cedar Ridge is better for you. It's meals, nurses, everything on site. You had no right. We had legal authority. He cut in, signed it. Power of attorney. Remember, the room felt smaller. The walls closer. You sold my home, I whispered. We did what was necessary, Brandon said. We're paying your bills now. Everything goes through me. Your accounts are closed. Your cards are canceled. Relax and let the professionals handle it. Then he said the line I'll never forget. You paid for all of this, Dad. The lawyer, the doctor, the nursing home deposit. You literally funded your own safety net. You should be grateful. And then he hung up. I stared at the receiver for a long time. They really thought they'd buried me alive. What they didn't know, I had 3 things they didn't count on. And that's where the real story starts. I sat on that stiff nursing home mattress for hours. The TV was on, but I didn't hear a word. My brain was doing what it always did as an engineer, scanned for exits. They'd taken my house, they'd taken my bank accounts, they'd taken my reputation by telling everyone I was losing it. But they missed 3 things. Thing number 1, the recorder when Emily died. I started carrying a small Sony voice recorder. At first, it was just for my self notes, things I didn't want to forget. Over time, I got used to flicking it on when conversations felt important, like when Brandon and Kelly worried about my memory, like when they mentioned professional care and legal authority. That little recorder had been in my pocket the night they brought me sleepy tea. It had been in my pocket when they discussed phasing me out in the kitchen, thinking I was asleep. 6 months. 6 months of recordings. He's getting foggier. You just keep reminding him of things he never did. He'll start doubting himself. We need Dr. Walsh to sign off. Once he marks cognitive decline, it's game over. Once the condo sells, that's our real fresh start. Florida, maybe. Somewhere warm. I had it all. Every disgusting word. And the recorder was still in my pocket in that Cedar Ridge bed. Back when I was still working, I had a colleague named Mark Benson. Sharp, quiet guy. Became an estate attorney. Handled Emily's will when she passed. A year before all this, Mark and I met for coffee. You know what's happening out there, right? He said. People's kids training their accounts, faking diagnoses, stuffing them in homes. Elder abuse is everywhere. I trust my son, I said back then. Mark smiled sadly. Trust is good. Structure is better. Out of paranoia or maybe just good engineering instinct, took his advice. We set up a living trust. The trust owned my biggest assets, not me personally, not my son, the trust. In 2 weeks before Brandon and Kelly pulled the nursing home stunt, I'd signed one last set of documents with Mark. I'd quietly moved my real money, the bulk of my retirement, plus what was left of Emily's insurance, to a new trust. Not one Brandon knew about. The beneficiary, not Brandon, not Kelly, not Lily. It was a charity I had started in Emily's name, the Hayes Foundation for Elder Advocacy. If Brandon wanted to treat me like a case study in exploitation, fine. He was about to become the poster child for it. And in my wallet at Cedar Ridge, I still had Mark's card. The phone Brandon updated for me. That one was full of the contacts he wanted me to have. But I'm old, not stupid. I had a second phone. Cheap, prepaid, it's kept in my desk drawer under a stack of old manuals. It's 2 weeks before they drugged me. Some part of me didn't like the way Brandon kept looking around my office. That's why I started slipping that backup phone into my jacket. They took my main phone. They left the burner. So I did the only logical thing. I called Mark Benson. He's a lawyer. Mark, it's Robert. I whispered into the receiver. Robert, Jesus, where are you? It's been trying your main number for days. In a nursing home I never picked, I said. They drugged me and dumped me here. Is Brandon there with you? No, just nurses who treat me like a patient and staff who think I'm senile. Are you clear-headed right now? He asked. No meds. They keep trying, but I'm flushing them when I can. I'm sharp. I remember everything. Good, he said, because once we do this, there's no going back. Do what? I asked. He exhaled slowly. Execute the plan Emily insisted on, he said. She came to me the year before she died, said. If Robert ever ends up in a situation where Brandon puts money over his father, I want options. She set this in motion. Robert, I just built the paperwork. I closed my eyes. Of course you did. I'm ready, I said. What do we do first? Step 1. Prove I'm not crazy first, Mark said. We need clean medical proof you're not cognitively impaired. Who's your actual doctor? Dr. Patel, I said. 12 years, knows me better than any specialist. Call her tonight. Tell her everything. Ask for a full neural exam and cognitive workup. We'll need it in writing. So I did. At 10:45 p.m., I called Dr. Anita Patel's emergency line. Robert, they told me you'd been diagnosed with early dementia, she said. I've been worried sick. I don't have dementia, I said. I have a son with dollar signs in his eyes. I told her everything. The meds, the power of attorney, the forged narrative. This is medical fraud, she said. Hey, and if Dr. Walsh signed off without testing you, he's in serious trouble. I need proof. Anita, can you get out? She asked. I looked at the schedule on my door. It's vitals at 6 p.m., meds at 8 p.m., lights out at 9. I can fake being tired, I said. They barely check on me after 9. Good, she replied. I'll meet you at my office at 11. That night, I pulled my old engineer act. I watched. I timed. I planned. At 9:45 p.m., I walked calmly down the hallway in my slippers like I was just stretching my legs. No one stopped me. I slipped out the side entrance by the loading dock. 5 minutes later, I was in the back of a taxi headed to Dr. Patel's clinic. She ran every test she had. Mini mental state exam, perfect, clock drawing, clean, memory, recall, never missed a word. You're sharper than half my staff, she said. There is zero cognitive decline here. She typed up a detailed report, dated, signed, stamped. That paper wasn't just proof I was sane. It was a wrecking ball aimed at Dr. Walsh and everything Kelly had said at the hospital. Step 2. Burning down their scam. When I left Dr. Patel's office, Mark was waiting in the parking lot. "You look terrible," he said bluntly. "Thanks. I feel like $1,000,000 compared to this morning." He opened a folder. "Everything we need is in here," he said. "Your trust is live. Your assets are protected. Brandon thinks he sold everything you own. Sold the condo, sure, but the accounts he thought he drained. Those belong to the Hayes Foundation now. What about the money from the condo sale?" I asked. "We're going after that next." Here's what they didn't account for. When someone under power of attorney sells a property and uses the money for themselves instead of the person they were supposedly helping, that's not just shady. That's criminal. Mark had already flagged the condo sale to the bank. He'd filed a fraud alert. He'd contacted the title company and the district attorney's office. "Okay, they think you're locked away and powerless," he said. "Perfect. That's when people are sloppiest. Feels weird using their own arrogance against them," I muttered. "That's not weird," Mark said. "That's math. The last piece. Make sure this didn't just stay a quiet courtroom thing. We needed sunlight. We needed witnesses." I handed Mark the Sony recorder. "Please tell me that thing is as full as it looks," he said. 6 months, I replied. "Everything from we worried about you to you paid for all of this, Dad." He smiled slowly. "Oh, this is going to play very nicely," he said. He pulled out his phone. "We're going to do something very simple," he explained. "We're going to let them talk, on camera, while the world watches." Mark uploaded the audio clips to a secure drive. Then he sends them over a slideshow of family photos, bank statements, and screenshots of the legal documents. "Elder abuse isn't just physical," his voiceover said. "Sometimes it looks like concern. Sometimes it sounds like we're just trying to help." He scheduled the video to go live on his law firm S channel and sent copies to a few local journalists who covered senior issues. Then we waited. The explosion, it took 3 hours. 3 hours from upload to viral. People don't usually care about legal documents, but you'd be amazed how fast they care when a son's voice is clearly heard, saying, "Once the condo sells, that's our real clean slate. Just keep him confused. Okay, the meds will help with that. He paid for all of this. He should be grateful." Comments poured in. "This is disgusting. This happens to so many seniors. Lock the son up." By evening, the local news called Mark. "Is your client willing to speak on camera?" they asked. "He's got a lot to say," Mark replied. "They blurred my face and used my first name only. But everyone who knew us knew exactly who it was." By midnight, the story had bounced to a national elder justice blog. Brandon's company's HR department saw it. So did the hospital where Kelly worked. The next morning, both of them got phone calls they weren't expecting. The fall Brandon was fired. Kelly was suspended pending investigation. Dr. Walsh got a letter from the medical board. The bank clawed back the condo sale money after Mark showed them the power of attorney abuse. Suddenly, Brandon and Kelly's fresh start money was gone. They'd already spent a bunch of it, 2 new cars, a deposit on a Florida townhouse, clearing old credit card debt. When the clawback hit, their account balances dove into the red. Overdrafts, bounced payments, foreclosure letters. The DA opened a case. elder abuse, financial exploitation, fraud, conspiracy. For the first time, Brandon couldn't talk his way out of anything. My exit on October 15th, I walked out of Cedar Ridge Care Center. Not sneaking out, not as a patient. I walked out the front door with my lawyer at my side, and my full mental capacity documented. We'd brought Dr. Patel's report, the audio recordings, and a notice from the court temporarily suspending Brandon's power of attorney. They had no legal right to keep me there, I moved into a new apartment overlooking Riverside Park, the place Emily and I used to walk on Sunday mornings. New phone number, new email, mail routed through Mark's office. As far as Brandon and Kelly were concerned, I vanished. They'd tried to erase me. I erased myself from their reach. The begging, I knew a call was coming eventually. It came one night at 10:30 p.m., private number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but curiosity won. Hello, Dad. Brandon's voice, shaky, tired. Not the man who once laughed and called me legally incompetent. What do you want, Brandon? Asked. I lost my job. The house is in foreclosure. Kelly left, took Lily. I'm staying in a motel off the highway. My lawyer says I might do 5 to 10 years if the DA pushes all the charges. He sniffed. I heard him trying not to cry. I know I don't deserve it, he continued. You're still my dad. Please, help me. One more time. For a few seconds, the old instinct rose in my chest. The urge to rescue him, to say, we'll figure this out. But then I remembered the night in Cedar Ridge. His voice sang, you should be grateful. You paid for all of this. I thought about waking up drugged in a bed I didn't choose, about having my life sold while I was unconscious. Brandon, I said calmly. Yes, Dad. Actions have consequences, and I hung up. The only one I let back in months went by. Court dates came and went. I stayed out of it except when legally required. My life got quiet, peaceful, even. Morning coffee, walks in the park, volunteering a few hours a week with seniors who'd been in the same boat as me. Then, one afternoon, there was a knock at my door. Not Brandon, Lily. She looked older than 18. Not in a bad way, just in that life hit me early way. Grandpa, she said softly, can I come in? We sat at the small kitchen table I'd picked out myself. I'm not here to defend him, she said before I could even ask. What my dad and mom did to you there's no excuse. She fidgeted with the strap of her bag. I wanted you to know I didn't know the truth until I saw the videos. Dad told me you'd lost it, that you needed serious help. I believed him. I'm so sorry. Tears stung my eyes for the first time in a long time. Lily, none of this was your fault, I said. She nodded slowly. I changed my major, she said suddenly. I'm studying social work now, focused on elder advocacy. I raised an eyebrow. Because of all this, she said. I want to make sure what happened to you doesn't happen to someone else. She slid an envelope across the table. I know I can't pay you back for what my parents took, she said, but I got a part-time job. I've been sending $50 a month to the Hayes Foundation. I wanted you to know who it was from. I opened the envelope. Small handwritten note for the people like my grandpa, from the granddaughter who should have asked more questions. Lily, I couldn't help it. I smiled. You know, I said, your grandma would have loved that. The real inheritance, people think inheritance is about money. It's not. Money disappears. Houses get sold. Cars break down. What sticks who you become. Brandon inherited my blood and Emily's intelligence, but he chose greed. Lily inherited Emily's heart, and she chose to do something good with the ugliness she saw. I still don't know what's going to happen to Brandon. Prison, probation, bankruptcy, all of the above, maybe. I do know one thing. I'm not his ATM anymore, okay? I'm not his backup plan. I'm just Robert Hayes, a man who walked into a nursing home he never chose and walked back out with something way more valuable than the house they stole. My freedom, my boundaries, and the peace Emily always wanted from me. If you're still here, let me know in the comments. Would you have forgiven your son or done exactly what I did? Hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that family is earned by actions, not just by blood.